This activity compares the properties of ethanol and gasoline. The bottles that you see here are plastic and actually contain water. The gasoline bottle contains water that has had a small amount of yellow food coloring added to it. You should never put gasoline or ethanol into a plastic bottle, especially gasoline, as it could dissolve the plastic quite easily. The glass jelly jars contain actual ethanol and gasoline. Glass is approved for holding ethanol, gasoline, and other solvents because it will not dissolve in them. You should never do this activity indoors unless you have a proper ventilation hood. When you handle ethanol and gasoline, always wear gloves and safety glasses, and make sure your students stay away from breathing in the vapors of gasoline. Children often find the vapors of gasoline a pleasant smell, but it is very dangerous for them to breathe them in as they are quite harmful. Also, make sure when you're working with gasoline that you keep the lid on and that you do not set it in the sun where it can vaporize easily. Make sure there are no flames or spark sources, and keep your cell phone at a distance just to be on the safe side. This is ethanol. Ethanol is a type of alcohol made from grain. It is renewable because we can grow more crops of grain every year. Notice that it is clear in color and it is very thin. We call that viscosity, and this has a low viscosity because it's very thin. This is gasoline. Gasoline is a fuel used in transportation, and it is produced from petroleum, which is oil that comes out of the ground and is non-renewable. Gasoline is slightly yellowish in color, has a very strong odor, and is toxic. Also, gasoline has a low viscosity, as you can see. These are two test tubes. They each contain about the same amount of water. What happens when I add a few drops of ethanol to some water? Watch carefully. Notice that the ethanol mixes with the water. You can see it mixing around a little bit, and then it becomes clear again. Now watch as I put some gasoline in the other test tube of water. Notice that it does not mix, and in fact, because it is less dense than water, forms a layer on top of the water. Gasoline and ethanol are both what we call volatile, meaning they evaporate easily. Watch how quickly ethanol evaporates when I put it on the table. Notice the puddle of ethanol is now getting much smaller. Now watch as I place a few drops of gasoline on the table. Again, this should never be done inside. This should always be done outdoors. Notice that the gasoline is evaporating much faster than the ethanol did. Each of these bottles will hold 1 liter. The bottle on the left represents a bottle of ethanol, and the bottle on the right represents a liter of gasoline. The yellow Lego bricks represent units of energy. 1 liter of ethanol will give us 24 units of energy, while 1 liter of gasoline will give us 36 units of energy. The black bricks represent 1 unit of carbon dioxide. 1 liter of ethanol will produce 46 moles of carbon dioxide, and 1 liter of gasoline will produce 52 moles of carbon dioxide.